Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about the Dodge Charger. Mainly, the fact that it's been kind of a dismal start for its lifespan. First of all, a lot of people were very upset at Dodge because it was an EV. It wasn't a full out, V8 powered muscle car. And a lot of people were ticked off by that. And then on top of it, we are getting internal combustion probably as soon as next month if the tariffs between the U.S. and Canada get situated. There is a Canadian election going on, and we're supposed to find out who the next government is, if they're going to be the Liberals or the Conservatives, probably on April 29th, the day after the election. So if the Liberals get their way, we'll probably have tariffs for a little bit longer, maybe even way longer, because they're looking at doing away with trade with the U.S. and going to more of a European kind of trade. Or if the Conservatives win, they're going to go to the table immediately and try to put a pause on the tariffs and try to do something with like more of a fair trade kind of deal. So the new internal combustion 2026 Dodge Charger 6-packs are kind of in limbo right now. There's still a production start date for next month. However, that could change. We don't know yet. And they're supposed to be, Stellantis is supposed to be talking to Unifor, the Canadian Labor Union, this week about it. So there's just a lot of stuff going on, but nonetheless, we did get this really cool conceptual design that I want to talk about. So if you know anything about, digital design with the automotive industry and stuff like that, these rendering programs have just gotten just awesome in the last few years. And it's basically opened up a world for people who really couldn't sketch or anything that well, but can design stuff on computers. And there's some amazing digital designers out there that can build some really cool stuff. So if you go over to Instagram, you will see a page called Abimelec Designs. And Abimelec Designs has been out for quite a while, a few years, but I follow him like religiously. And the very interesting thing is he's got 84,600 followers over on Instagram. But it's one of the coolest pages because he does a little bit of everything, but he loves Mopars especially. And there's a lot of Chrysler stuff on here. So if you go to his latest Chrysler design, he did this the other day. This is his take on the current Dodge Charger, but he kind of used influence from the 2023 Dodge Challenger SRT Superstock. So if you're not familiar with the Dodge Challenger SRT Superstock, it's basically a 2018 Dodge Demon. However, it doesn't have the high octane, ECU put in the car. It's got the same tires, same wheels. Basically, it's got the Hellcat Redeye hood with the twin scoops instead of the big air grabber hood. And it's got a different spoiler and whatnot. But it's the same car, it just doesn't have the trans brake and a few things just to keep it so the 2018 Demon owners were very happy that their cars were different. But nonetheless, for 2021, 2022, up until the Demon 170, it was the fastest Dodge muscle car you could buy down the quarter mile. So basically, this car is kind of a modern take on it. And we've talked a lot about what's going on at Dodge. Again, we said that the 6-pack's coming. A lot of people have been happy that there's internal combustion coming, but they haven't, they've been kind of up in the air about the new 3-liter inline 6. So the Hurricane engine's been out for a few years. They had some issues at the beginning with thermostats and stuff, but they seem like they have worked their issues out of them. But, this will be a totally different kind of car compared to what we're used to. So a lot of people don't realize that the Hurricane engines were basically started development back in 2013, 2014. And a lot of the people that were originally on the program were part of the Viper V10 program. But anyways, that engine is supposed to replace the 5.7 HEMI and 6.4 HEMI. It's not a bad engine. I actually I actually drove a Ram 1500 RHO, and a lot of people complain, oh, it's not a TRX. It's only got 540 horsepower. That truck has balls. It's the same suspension, same setup and everything, but it's better. It's a better daily driver. It's a better all-around truck. You get double-digit fuel economy, which you don't get with the Hellcat. But it still has major balls. And if I put that up against my 2023 Chrysler 300C, it would stomp the hell out of it. And it's an off-road truck. So I was really impressed with the overall performance of it. There's some things I don't like about the Hurricane engine. I don't like I've said this 1,000 times. I don't like the fact that there's no dipstick. You can't check, like, actually check the oil in it. You have to rely on the computer and stuff. But I think there's a lot of potential going forward with the Hurricane engines. So I've been very excited about the 6-pack. But for some people, it's just not enough. And with the Dodge, we've known this for a while now, that they're going to bring the Hemi back in these cars, these LB cars, but it's going to take a while. And they're looking at engineering ways to put the car together, but their real focus right now is the 6-pack models. So after the 6-pack cars get launched, we're going to start seeing Hemi cars probably in the development stages. So here's the thing. This car is a conceptual design of what a Dodge Charger LB would be if it had a super stock kind of outfit to it. So if you look at this car, Abimelec took the whole basic SRT super stock kind of design and put it into the new LB cars, and it looks awesome. The first thing you're going to notice is it's got the twin snorkel hood, just like the Hellcat and the Hellcat Redeyes, and it actually goes really, really good with this car. Of course, the R-wing is gone because you don't need the R-wing because you need a bigger grille to put as much air into the car to cool the engine as possible. Also, if you see his car, he actually painted it Hellraisin. Well, it's kind of like a Hellraisin. It's a little bit brighter than Hellraisin, but we can say because of the light, it's Hellraisin. But the really off the wall thing that he did was he gave it a wide body kit. And if you know anything about the current Charger, the new Charger, it's a natural wide body car. You can put, obviously with the track pack on the Scat Pack models, you can put 325s out the back, and they don't stick out at all. At all. You can put 345s on it, and you might be touching the outside of the fenders. But he decided he was going to take and put the biggest rubber on this thing. So he put a wide body fender kit on it, and it just looks crazy. So up front, I would assume they were 20s, but they actually look more like 22s. There's these dual 5-spoke wheels wrapped in Toyo Proxy tires. Out back are massive Mickey Thompson drag slicks with wrapped around Weld Racing beadlock wheels. It just gives the car a completely awesome stance. Then if you look at the actual paint scheme, again, we said it was Hellraisin, but if you look at the car, you'll notice that it has a satin black hood, a satin black roof, and a satin black deck lid. And that kind of follows the paint scheme of, obviously, the 2018 Dodge Demon. So that's cool. Kind of gives it back that retro kickback to 2018, which I really like. But you can see right from this angle how crazy adding a wide body kit onto this car looks. I mean, it just looks nuts. It's not bad looking in my opinion. It just looks crazy. I like the fact that the car looks, in its stock form, it has that natural look to it. This thing just looks bonkers. And I'm saying that in a good way. Another thing he did was, if you look at the back here, he gave it the SRT Performance spoiler, which is also called the Barracuda spoiler in Canada. So this spoiler, I actually caught spy photos of this thing back in 19 testing. It was the first time anybody had caught it. And it was all covered up in that. But yeah, in Canada, if you ordered one of these spoilers on a Dodge Challenger, it was called the Barracuda spoiler. So that's what it's kind of known for. It's the Barracuda spoiler. But you can see how just crazy the design looks. I mean, look how wide this car is going to be. Just awesome. He's done a really good job with making this car look radical, but not too, fake. It still looks like a Dodge Charger LB car. Absolutely love the looks of it. You can kind of see from the back, he went for a whole different kind of angle. So instead of having the rear diffuser where it says Charger on it, it's just plain, which looks really good. It cleans up the back of the car. And then if you look, instead of having the typical, when you have a Hemi in it, instead of just having a, single exhaust on each side, there's dual exhaust tips on each side of the car. So there's a quad tip exhaust out the back. So it's kind of cool there. You can just see how massive those Mickey Thompsons are in the shot. And then what kind of makes it kind of weird looking up front is how wide the front is, even with the tires turned, how wide that body kit is. Like I said, it's not bad, but it just gives the car just this kind of almost crazy extreme kind of look to it. That's something that Dodge probably would do if they had the chance to do it. but you can see the spoiler and stuff like that, and it just looks really good. He did a really phenomenal job. You can see from the air shot here how wide this car is. And again, doesn't look fake. He did a really good job. His renderings are always really good. There's even panel gaps, which just blow my mind, because this is the kind of stuff that we would see with Dodge. So when he does his stuff, he does it really good. And you can see the matte black finish. You know, one of the things I absolutely did not like about the Charger Daytona is the fact that you have a glass roof. It doesn't open up anymore. I was kind of disappointed in that, because I like to have like a sunroof so you can kind of air the car out and, you know, not have air blowing in on you. But with the glass roof, it just kind of like, I don't know, just wasn't my thing. But nonetheless, with this matte black finish, it just makes the car stand out even more, even without a glass roof, which I really, really like. And then, of course, up front, you have the Hellcat hood. And the very interesting thing is how good this hood actually looks on this car. You can go through all the pictures on his page, but that hood just stands out on this car, and it looks like it belongs there. It makes the car look meaner. The car's wider, obviously, but nonetheless, it just really stands out. And if you get a chance, go over to his page. I mean, you can see he even left a comment on the top of this page that says, "Dear Dodge, ... You know, he does a lot of these conceptual designs that just kind of really stick out, or what ifs is what he calls them. This is a 66 Charger he did recently. Actually, it was a week ago. And if you look, he put a Hellcat engine in it, made it have a super clean engine bay. And then you can see on the front, he gave it kind of a 69 front end just to give it a little bit of a different look. But he goes through and puts like this radical hood on it. I mean, he slams it to the ground and just kind of like takes and shaves the bumpers a little bit in the computer, and it just looks awesome. And all of his renderings are basically realistic. I mean, there's some that are kind of crazy, but you can go through his page and just look. I mean, we've actually showcased him quite a bit on Mopar Insiders. This is a Trackhawk design that he did that was just a two-door, and I mean, it actually looks pretty good. I mean, this back piece of glass is massive, but I mean, it does look cool, and the doors are extended out. I mean, it's just something different. This was one of his what-ifs, and just looked really cool. We posted this on Mopar Insiders, and it got a lot of attention. And then another one he did, because like me, he likes to do kind of April Fool's things, because I wrote the one article on Mopar Insiders for April Fool's about the Nitro coming back. A lot of people believed it. It was kind of funny. But if you go onto his page, he actually did this. This was really cool. He said he was partnering up with Ring Brothers to basically build a new pacer program. Now, I'm a huge AMC guy on top of being a Mopar guy. AMC, when I was like really little, was like my favorite car brand. I always loved AMCs, and then obviously they're now part of Chrysler because Chrysler bought them out in '87. But the Pacer's always kind of been like a cool, you know, the fishbowl card. And this thing looks like wicked cool. It's slammed to the ground. It's got solid wheels. I mean, it's even got a deep dish wheel in the back. It's just cool as heck. And this was a funny thing that he created for April Fool's, and he said it was called the Spacer because it had this UFO design, taillights on it and stuff like that. And trust me, anytime he designs something like this, it just sticks out big time. And he's got such a creative mind. He's done so many different things. Like he's done different projects. Like if you go back and look at Mike Musto, he had a Dodge Hornet that he built into a wide body. That was all rendered and designed by him. So, I mean, he's got a ton of different, you know, things that have actually made it into real life too. So he's not just a full-out digital designer, but he's got so much stuff. So if you guys get a chance, go over and check out his page. Again, he's got, you know, 84,600 followers. So, I mean, if you haven't seen his stuff, he's also on Facebook and some other social media too, but Instagram's where he does his best work. So get out there, check him out, and tell me what you think of this concept. Do you think that, obviously people want a Hemi back, but would you like to see something crazy like a wide body Charger LB car? Or do you think the current wide body, you know, design is wide enough? What do you think of a Challenger SRT Superstock, like a modern take on the new Charger of the, you know, SRT Superstock cars? Tell me in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.